Welcome back to Leagues 3, Shattered Relics. We got an occult necklace in this giant pile of loot, and that is fantastic. Smoke devils are absurd as far as tasks are concerned. And now we have an occult, which will make it even faster. Elite task completed. This is a very good amulet to have, as it boosts your magic. This is going to be very useful today, as we are starting Barrows. Okay, so the whole deal with this whole game mode is that there is increased drops. So, in 134 Smoke Devils, you have a fairly good chance of getting an occult necklace. It's like 1 in 170 to get that, with the maxed out multipliers. Instead, I got 4 of them. So, that's not just 3 times more common, that's 4 times more common than 3 times more common. So, we've got all these occults now, which is great. Next thing I want to do, before we head to Barrows, Barrows gives a whole bunch of things, and as far as bank space to hold all my cool new things is concerned, I have not got that. Mostly due to this tab, full of various things. Less in the loot and alchables, which also needs to get taken care of. So I think the best course of action here would be to go and fill as many clue scroll stashes as possible. And then I would know for sure that I don't need another mithril full helm for anything else. Between all the variety of items we have here, our high skills and large cash stack, we should be able to fill a lot of stash units. So I will get that going. Starting with the beginner stash units. There's only 3 of them, so that's very easy to get done. The rest of the tiers have very, very many more. And that's why we have all these nails. That should be more than enough to build all these stash units. Here is the last easy stash unit. 29 of those, and they are all full now. Had to make and buy quite a few different things. Nothing too complicated. It is easy clue scrolls, after all. There's a medium task for filling a medium stash unit. There wasn't one for easy or beginner. And I don't think there's one for elite or master either. But hey, 25 points. Just starting out here with the medium stashes. I'm doing some AFK iron mining over here. And by some, I mean I'm now 97 mining. But there is Imcando's Apprentice, level 3. Yep. Mining. The final medium stash unit. Really don't need to make this one, because Iron Men cannot get this clue scroll step, because it's a medium clue scroll requiring adamant boots, and apparently, instead of just not making this clue scroll, they very specifically coded it to let Iron Man off the hook from getting 75 Slayer for medium clues. Not an issue either way, but I can hardly say I've filled every medium stash unit if I haven't. 23 of those, and they are all completed. There is the first hard stash unit filled for a hard task. That makes sense. That makes sense. There is all 15 hard stash units built, and 11 of them even have the things inside. The other 4 require clue scroll items to do the clue scrolls. And since we haven't done that many yet, we do not have those items. As far as elite and master stashes go, we can't really fill too many of them currently. So I'm just going to save that for later. Just filling up these beginner, easy, medium, and hards really took quite a few items out of the bank. So now I'm going to go through what's left and get up a giant pile of things to alch. Here's the first inventory of stuff. We got a very large pile of rune things. Rune squares, rune meds, rune full helms. And this is just the first inventory. We have a lot of things to alch. And that's very nice for our cash stack. Finishing off by selling a ton of very cheap things to the general store here. We ended up with 4.8 million coins from alching a bunch of stuff, freeing up 100 bank slots. Total cash stack is now 6.6 million coins. And I think I'm going to use that to help with Barrows. Right after we go and get our new skill capes. Magic can give us 5 spellbook swaps a day without needing to mess around with putting on the different fragments. And hit points increases hit point restoration, which could have some uses. It stacks with some things, but not some other things, so exactly how many hit points we would restore in any given situation, especially with the additional relic that also does that, remains to be seen. But there could be some situations where that would be nice. There is what I needed. Antidote plus pluses. These are necessary for what I'm doing with construction. And since I'm here, I'm just going to get one more kill. At Zulrah. I guess the trident is good enough to complete an elite combat task, Zulrah speed trialist, and a league task of defeating Zulrah in 1:30. So that is a hard task. Neat. Also very important will be all these crystal keys. Well, not the crystal keys, the dragon stones that I get from the crystal keys. Oh, we're going to be dropping so much stuff on the ground here. That's why I brought last recall, so I can come back here and grab the rest of these things. There is 10 dragon stones. Going to be very useful. And the pile of money is going towards 2 marble blocks and 7 gold leaves. Absolutely going to be making use of the closing the store method to save a little bit of money here. Because my goodness, these are expensive things to get. 6 gold leaves. And 7. Time to massively upgrade the house. I have made space for 2 new rooms here in the house. We are getting a superior garden. And we'll rotate this to put the pool right here next to the portal. And up here, we will get an achievement gallery. Again, we rotate it to get stuff close by. And that was a hard task to build that. Also, it's now very difficult to get to the workshop, so I'll have to deal with that, but for right now, I need something here. Nah, I need the runes. Well, I've got a few things we can build here. I'm going to build a lectern here. Mahogany eagle lectern. Can make some tabs on here, which could be useful. But now we need to go get all sorts of stuff to build the things here. Luckily, we have plenty of teleports. So we can just head to the bank, pick up the things we need. In this instance, we need soul runes and body runes. Then we can teleport back to the house. Enter build mode. And build the first pool. In the jewelry box, we need a boulder cloth, a steel bar, games necklaces, and rings of dueling. That's an easy first one here. Everything's still going good at the farming guild. Let's grab out steel bar, boulder cloth, a couple of rings of dueling, a couple of games necklaces, I think I need a molten glass for another thing I'm making. There we go. Teleport. Build mode. Build the jewelry box. So now that is infinite games necklaces and rings of dueling. Replace this teak telescope I made with the mahogany telescope. And now we need to upgrade the pool here, which is going to take mostly a ton of potions. First grouping here needed staminas and then prayer potions, which we can do. Just store some of this stuff. Stamina potions. Not useful for much besides this, but definitely worth having because it locks all the other pool upgrades behind it. Definitely a worthwhile thing to have made. Plus it was a task, so there you go. Revitalization pool and a construction level. Rejuvenation pool. And then we need to make the last two, which might take multiple trips here. 10 super restores, 2 marble blocks. Yeah, it's definitely gonna take trips. Absolutely worth it though. Build mode. Upgrade. to the fancy rejuvenation pool. And then back to the bank for what we needed those antidote pluses for. Turn them straight into antivenoms. We need 10 of them, and we only had 4 before that drop. So the drop of 10 was literally all we really needed. And we need some blood runes. Back to the house. Build mode. And upgrade fancy pool to the top. I'm going to need to make the combat bracelets and skills necklaces for this, but we had 10 dragon stones that we just got, so that is doable. I need to think about what I want in the teleport space here. I could put a spirit tree or a fairy ring, but not yet a spirit tree and fairy ring. Although it would only be 4 levels. And that would just be pretty convenient just to get that done. So I might as well. Construction's a fast skill. But if I'm going to do construction, I think I'm going to want a butler. So I'm going to go make 2 bedrooms. And then I need to find what planks we're using. It's a million steps. That's Iron Man mode. There is all the jewelry for the upgrade to fancy. So now from here, we've got Ring of Dueling, Games Necklace, Combat Bracelet, Skills Necklace. Then we have the Glory down here, which we could move things around, but we do not have enough dragon stones right now to make the ornate jewelry box. So that is why that's not happening. Here's our bedrooms. Butler should be around here somewhere. So let's get some construction done. Getting some teak logs to turn into planks. There is just Druid, level 3. I think that means we only have 1 fragment that's at level 2 now. Yep, pro tips. Everything else is maxed. Well, maxed or we don't have it yet. So, construction. Needless to say, construction, except it's 16 times faster and uses 32 times less planks, is actually pretty quick. Here is the Spirit Tree and Fairy Ring. That is very good transportation options here. And now we move over to direct a spell to Barrows. And with that, we've got pretty much everything we want for doing some Barrows here. Recharge all of our stats, prayer, hit points, just everything. And teleporting to Barrows. We're going to want to be on Ancients, just for freezing. So I made some house teleport tabs, just to make everything easier for me. Don't need to switch spellbooks constantly or anything unnecessary like that. We will be recharging our prayer every time, maybe. So we might not want the added boost to accuracy. But we'll probably be fine either way. Now we can actually start Barrows. Before I start going super fast at Barrows, I'm going to get the rest of the combat achievements done. There's the one for killing Carol using only special attacks. A very simple thing to accomplish. When you can have infinite chances teleporting back to your house to recharge your spec over and over. And here is Pray for Success. Take no damage from the Barrows brothers. There is the first drop. A Torag's plate body on chest number 7. Still working on different situations and setups here. I think I'm going to be going with Prayer. I found that Ancient Magics isn't really that useful if I'm going to have Prayer. So I might switch that to something else. Here is Torag's plate body. Equip a piece of Barrows armor. Medium task. Very good. And chest number 8, Carol's Coif. I've switched to the Arceus spellbook, and I'm going to be summoning Skeleton Thralls to help with Aram. Since I'm using Prayer, my accuracy with magic against Aram is just not quite what I want it to be. But the Thralls with Thrall damage do a lot of good. There is the second to last combat task. Barrows Novice for getting 10 chests opened. Being able to skip the whole maze definitely speeds this up substantially. Okay, somehow I just completed a medium combat task. Sit back and relax. Not sure what that's for. Might just go look that up. Sit back and relax. That's not a Barrows task. There's the chest loot. It's a combat task. Those are usually just all related to the same thing. Deal 100 damage to creatures using thralls. Oh, okay. So it's just thralls based. Interesting. Didn't know that was a thing. That'll be fairly nice. Aram's Robe Top. Also, I've switched to Endless Knowledge, just to not use all my home teleport tabs, and it did fit in here nicely. So, Aram's Robe Top. That will increase our magic accuracy from 100 to 110. Not too shabby. It also helps that we're using the trident, so when we swap between these, we don't need to reset any autocasts for anything. It is all smoothing out here at the Barrows. Next item, Guthan's Spear. That is a different item, or a different set for each item so far. We've only got 4 items, so can't be too surprised. There is a Verax plate skirt. Continuing our theme of one item from every brother. That is 5 items from 5 sets. Will the next item be a Darox item? That is the question. Nope. We're getting Guthan's Helmet. So that is 2 pieces for Guthan's. Very nice. Eventually, if we get duplicates, we can alch them or trade them in for death costs. So ultimately, they will still be useful. But of course, I would like to continue just getting uniques. Ooh, there's something. A fragment. Barrows can give tier 2 fragments. And we only have one of the 4 of those that are available. So this should be something new. It is Slay All Day. Let's look at that. New fragment. We can look at it by searching for our level 1 fragments, which it is the only one of. Killing a Slayer monster on task will heal you 1, 2, or 3 hit points. Not particularly useful for most things. Especially if when you're using Knife's Edge. Definitely not something you would want. Let's see what the side effects are. Knife's Edge and the Alchemist. Yes. Let's put the set effect that helps when you have less hit points on the fragment that heals you. And then Alchemist, that's irrelevant for a combat fragment. So this will just be a whenever we want to use Knife's Edge fragment, I guess. Not exactly the most useful, but it's nice to get any fragments that we don't have yet. Well, there's the first duplicate. Another Torag's plate body. It seems that you can't switch spellbooks while you're fighting, or something. Anyways, if we examine this, that has G value and high alch value that we can make use of, even though it's a duplicate. Still, decent money. And here is chest number 50, Barrows Champion. That is the final Barrows combat task, which we can look at here at the bosses. Barrows complete. First boss we've finished all the combat tasks for. Combat achievements, I guess. Combat tasks for the combat achievements. Yes. All of that. Barrows. We got 7 items in our first 50. So, just a smidge under the 3 times better drop rates, but it's okay. It's very quick. And with that, I think that'll be good for this episode. I'm definitely in the groove here for Barrows. So I think I'm going to do just so much Barrows. Or maybe not. Depends on what drops we get. If we finish some sets, or at least one set, I might move on to something else. But there is no telling how long that will take. Next time. Goodbye.